West Premier Supra Mahumapelo says someone is trying to kill him. This as calls for him to step down, grow louder. Our reporter Samkele Maseko is following that story for us and joins us now from the Northwest. Now, before we get to some of the things that he has said, Sam, I saw different posture and a somewhat different tone as he was speaking to you. How did you find him standing there next to him and having to speak to him?
Well, for you, all I will say is that he was not that jovial, super enthusiastic, energetic Supra Mahumapelo that we have come to know over the years. If you remember, he's always bubbly, he's always up and about, jumping, but it does seem as if there are political tensions there. He is somewhat feeling the heat as the political tectonic plates shift beneath him when it comes to his premiership position here in the Northwest Province. He even said that he can neither confirm nor deny that the President of the Republic and of the ANC, Cyril Ramaphosa, asked him to resign, saying that it's not every Tom, Dick and Harry that must know the discussion is taking place in this big, gigantic movement called the African National Congress. But he did look a little bit down. He did sound a little bit defeated. But knowing Supra Mahumapelo, he's probably a cat with 9 lives. He knows how to survive politically. So who knows what he has up his sleeve this time around in his quest for political survival.
Now, I mean, in the clip we played, it says the most important thing to do is focus on my job as a leader of the ANC and a servant of the people. A servant of the people, this, of course, coming from the same man who has been found wanting on the whole media saga and other, and several allegations have, of course, been leveled against him.
Well, contrary to many things that have been said around him, I listened to Pumla Williams, the DG at GCIS and Government Communications, and also the spokesperson for the Interministerial Committee that's investigating wrongdoing here within the province, and to find out on that fact-finding mission on that Interministerial Committee chaired by Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma, saying Supra Mahumapelo and his executive have been very collaborative in giving the Interministerial Committee information. When they are asked questions, they're there to answer for themselves. For instance, today he was there at that Interministerial Committee meeting for the entire day, and that's where we got that opportunity to speak to him. So you rather get confused when you find that they have these allegations, and there's proof, in fact, of 30 million rands being paid to Mediosa, that Gupta-linked company, and how the Department of Health has virtually basically collapsed in the province. You've got the Nahau strike ongoing as well. You've got that feud he also has ongoing between himself and the MEC of Health in the province, and all the political enemies he has accumulated over the years. And for instance, his divisions now with the former provincial secretary of the province, Dakota who is now an ANC NWC member, and also the Deputy National Organizer, Tsusenzo Mchune, and also how his former political ally and political mentee, Colin Mahine, has turned against him to become a political foe, dishing out all the dirt on the Premier, saying he introduced him to the Gupta brothers. So you come to think of, there may be a side of him that you see within the public domain, that is this jovial fellow, this fellow who's always speaking on behalf of the so-called ANC Premiers League, which has basically been dismantled since D.D. Mabuza decided to move with the Cyril Ramaphosa camp. So it's rather interesting to see how the political tectonic plates are rather shifting beneath him, Supra Mahumapelo.
Let's just separate the government and the ANC for a second here, Sam. Starting with the work of the IMC. What is the Inter-Ministerial Committee's approach to the inquiry that they are doing? Do we know if they are focusing on the things you've just spoken about, which have been in the public domain, or if there is other stuff that hasn't been spoken about?
Well, as it stands, we've not yet gotten access inside that interministerial committee meeting, what they are discussing. But what we can confirm is that Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma, we spoke to her earlier on today, she did confirm that she will have that report compiled and she will hand it over to the president. Probably she'll be finishing off that report, that preliminary report, by Wednesday afternoon, which will be on the president's desk. We spoke to her earlier on this morning. But we've seen the likes of Madoda Sambata, who's an MPL in the legislature and a former MEC in the province, who's been very vocal, saying that Premier Supra Mahumapelo must go. We saw various other MECs going inside that interministerial committee meeting. We've seen union representatives from Denosa and from Nahawu who are in the health sector, who will probably have information on this Mediosa contract, who were in there giving information to this interministerial committee meeting. But what's rather interesting was the presence of Justice Minister Michael Masuta, who was in that committee meeting, as well as along with the Hawks head General Matakata and the Minister of Police Bheki Cele. Would understand that Supra Mahumapelo has in the past said that if he is subjected to any investigations criminally, he will abide by the laws of this country, he will present himself, and he will go through a court of law, and he is innocent until proven guilty. So he is saying that he may be probably anticipating more charges that may be laid against him or any other government official. We've also got to understand that the Director General within the Department of Health was placed on suspension after the Minister of Health, Aaron Motsoaledi, came onto the province after that story of the Mediosa contract broke. You've also got the likes of the leaked information now of the cattle that was bought with government coffers to the former President Jacob Zuma. That's also probably under investigation here. You remember that implementing agent, that agri company that has its whistleblower saying that he or she was asked to deliver those cattle to the over 1.2 or 1.5 million rands to the former President Jacob Zuma. So it's rather interesting on how all of these allegations are now being tested in this interministerial committee meeting. But we probably anticipated there would be more revelations coming out of that IMC inquiry that may be concluded sometime this week, and that report handed over to the president by the end of Friday this week.
Tomorrow, will he be at the legislature?
Yes, the Premier Supra Mahumapelo will be delivering the budget of the province tomorrow in the legislature. He said he's preparing that. In fact, in his words, quote, we are now preparing to hand over power to the 6th administration. So in the next 6 months, we will be winding down our work as we prepare to hand over power to the 6th administration so that they are not found wanting and in the dark when it comes to governance come the 2019 general elections, unquote. So that was him speaking about his political future, also signaling that he may not be resigning anytime soon. He may be in office for the next 6 months until the 2019 general elections. But you don't know, with all the behind the closed doors negotiations and talks taking place within the African National Congress. He even refused to speak on the matter of governance about that meeting he had with the President of the Republic, Cyril Ramaphosa, on Thursday. He refused to confirm or deny whether the President had asked him to resign. So it will be rather interesting on what unfolds in the legislature tomorrow. But I had an opportunity to speak to him yesterday through SMSs. I asked him what's truly going on here. Will he be addressing the nation on Tuesday? Will he be resigning? And he said at some point he will speak on these issues. In fact, let me just quote him. Quote, it's something I am pondering to do when it comes to addressing the nation, unquote. So he is thinking about addressing the nation on something at some point in time. We don't know yet what it is, but at this point in time, he is resilient, that he is not stepping down. He is resolute and he is soldiering on with his work. So in fact, he said, I must remain focused and vigilant and continue with the work I've been deployed to do by the African National Congress.
Politically, how is he doing, Sam? Does he still have a strong backing from within the African National Congress and its allies?
Well, over the years, his political support has waned down. If you'd go back to the 2015 conference here in Mahikeng that took place, that was addressed by the then ANC National Chairperson, Mambalega Mbete, you'd remember how he had strong support of the provincial ANC Youth League, Women's League, COSATU, and the South African Communist Party. But over the years, that support has waned down. You'd remember now that the likes of Madoda Sambata, the provincial secretary of the SACP, have shifted away from him. You've got the likes likes of Colin Maine, who's a former MEC who've shifted away from him, and also taking the backing of the ANC Youth League in the province, led by Sipho Daile. So you've also got the likes of COSATU themselves, who are not very vocal in their support for the Premier. You've just got the Provincial ANC Women's League that is still in support, and you've got some PEC members within the ANC itself that are still supporting the Premier, but he seems to have the larger chunk of the majority in the Provincial Executive Committee meeting. In fact, that is proven by the statement that was released by the ANC over the weekend, saying that the Premier's life is under threat. Assassinators have been paid 250,000 rands to kill him. That just proves that he still has some sort of power or dominance in the ANC Provincial Executive Committee, you'd remember, but that Provincial Executive Committee is not yet complete after the departure of Dakotwa Legoeti as the Provincial Secretary, who's now in the ANC's National Working Committee. Then comes in Susan Janti, the Speaker in the Legislature, who's also now the acting Provincial Secretary in the province. So it does seem like his political future in the province is not that strong. You've got 3 regions that have been disbanded, such as Bujanala and Ruth Mompati. You've got 1 region that is in good standing and has a regional executive committee, which is here in Mahikeng, Ngaka Mudimu Mulemu, which is this region that you are in.